Hi, everybody. Welcome. Welcome to our Connection Fields open house today. Super excited to be with all of you today. I'm having to turn down my music. I'm a little flustered as I'm watching all of the people come in and seeing all the names of people that I know and love so much and that have been with us over the years in the original connection field, in the islands of coherence, in the global coherence polls, Unify events. Like I'm seeing so many of our community here all together. And that's really an exciting way to start the day. My heart feels so happy. Take a minute to put your name in the chat and where you're coming in from. We're always from all around the world, which is really so heartwarming as well. This connection field open house, we've had open houses in the past with the Islands of Coherence and other activities that we've done, because it's an opportunity for us to come together as a community and celebrate things that we've accomplished, celebrate and claim things that we're launching and opening up and inviting people to connect with. It gives us an opportunity to just feel our community growing and deepening. So we're excited you're here today, and we hope that this hour and a half is fun for you, that it brings you some joy in your day, and it gives you a feeling of connection and a feeling of hope and all of those good feelings that we need in order for our bodies to be nourished and for us to do the good work that we need to do in the world that's often hard, right? If we have time to get nourished and uplifted, then there's so much more available to us. So just a quick overview, we started at World Unity Week claiming a mission, and that mission was to launch the brand new connection field, and we've done it. Over this last 99 days, we've been pulling it together, inviting islands from the Islands of Coherence over into this new format. We hosted the game with David Gershon over those 99 days. We started to bring the community space alive. And so we're celebrating that. We're saying, wow, we wrote it down, we claimed it, and then we did something about it. And that's really important and something to celebrate. And then today, we're getting ready to launch a really important part of the connection field, which has always been what we want to be able to provide, and that is nourishing places for us to connect in and practice coherence together, to learn about the things that we need to do to stay centered in the face of whatever we're facing, and to have an opportunity just to be together, because boy, we need that. So I'm excited that you're here today. I want to invite you to do a really fun game to help you be involved in the process. If you hear something that you resonate with, type 11111 in the chat. Like something resonates with you, you let us know by indicating that whatever that was really turned you on, or could be a comment somebody puts in the chat that you respond to. It's a really nice way for us to stay engaged together and have that feedback. And you're also seeing that we're on a meeting line. We're not doing a webinar line where the presenters are over here and you're over there. We're all together, and we can scroll through and like Diane Hayworth, who was just on our last Global Coherence Pulse. Lovely to see you. Stephen Klein, Annie Mitchell. Like, boy, that's a lot of faces from the last couple of years of us coming together. Dana, lovely to see you. So take a minute as we're doing this to scroll through and see the beautiful faces of our community that have joined together. And Tammy, I want to bring you on. This is also we're connecting to the Upshift forum, and I wanted us to just add that in so that we know we're actually going wide today.
Yes, I know. This is so exciting. So of course we're here participating as Unify and as me in the connection field. And also this gathering today is a part of the World Upshift Forum, which is also a collaboration. We'll talk more about collaboration of individuals and organizations around the world who are really coming together to see what's possible to elevate consciousness and elevate humanity and elevate our planet, all of us together. So we're very excited to be having a part in both today.
Yes. And we had a fun time yesterday. We did a little interview for the Oneness Summit too. It feels like we're getting a chance to really share our love with the community. Julie was on that. It was really lovely to have that time together. And Julie, it's great. You know, the good of the whole, the connection field has been part of your legacy from during COVID. So we're going to be excited to hear your story today, a little bit about that. And congratulations. We're doing a great job. Things are happening. Yeah. So we're going to start with Khadijih, who has really been taking a strong lead in the connection field development. You probably, or if you're on this call, you probably have received an email or a phone call or some kind of love from this lady sometime during your experience of the connection field, the islands of coherence, the global coherence pulse. Like, let's put some ones in the chat for this girl, right? She really has been a champion for community and coming together in the ways that we do. And Khadijih is just going to guide us in a simple little centering, just to bring us all here present so that we can receive the gifts of this time together. So Khadijih, we love you. Thank you for everything.
Thank you so much, Teresa. And I love you all so much. I feel like I'm going to cry just from hearing that and seeing all the ones and just being here with everyone. Just so overwhelmed with love and joy for each and every one of you. It's magnificent what we do individually and collectively. And this is just evidence of that. So let's just go into a little centering. I'm going to have you start with your eyes closed. And then after about a minute, I'm going to have you open them. So just kind of be ready for that. When we open our eyes, we're still in meditation, but I just want to kind of foreshadow that so you know what's coming. So why don't we take a nice, deep, big breath and close our eyes. And just begin settling in. Take a moment to feel your body wherever it is in space and time. And gently begin sensing and feeling the precious beating of your divine heart. Begin breathing into your heart and tuning in to this sacred space in the center of your chest. Breathing deeply, begin connecting with the feeling of love, of joy, of community, connection, unity. Connecting with your heart and each and every heart on this call. And feeling into your heart, go ahead and open your eyes. And on the screen, see the connection field intertwined. Feeling into your heart and that space of love. See if you can feel the emanation of the greater global connection field that we are all co-creating together. Sense yourself in this space. And connect with all the hearts on this call. Connect in the field of love. Can you feel this greater web that we are weaving and a part of already? Can you feel your heartbeat with the heartbeats of all those across the world? You see how we all dance together as one in the same field of all. Notice our movements, our changes, our evolution, all held in love. Can you breathe a little deeper now, connecting in with your heart once more, and dropping more deeply into the connection field, the quantum field, the web of life that joins us together as brothers and sisters under the same sun. And then gently and slowly begin letting your awareness engulf and bring in the whole room and space around you. Bringing this feeling of connection more deeply into the space around you, into the field around you. Holding this greater understanding of connection in your heart. So we all join together for the rest of this community open house.
Oh, I was hoping you'd leave it up for a minute. Don't we all want that for our screensaver, right? We all want that for our screensaver. I'm on gallery view right now because I want to see all of your beautiful faces. Thank you for turning on your cameras and being present today. Alexi, you can see up in the corner, at least he's in my corner. You can unmute Alexi. Took a graphic that a team from Unify did the first round on. And then here's a collaboration that happened. Alexi took that and he turned it into an animation for us. And it's really kind of like, it's a visual representation of what we feel is occurring, right? As we come into coherence, as we begin to follow the impulse of our hearts, as we begin to cluster together in resonance with other people, that's what starts to happen. Activities, initiatives. And we're learning from our journey with the islands of coherence and the connection field and all of it is that we need to be willing to be in the emergence process. We need to be willing to lean in when it wants us to lean in, and it allows us to change our form if that's what's being invited without being attached to what we think it's supposed to look like, but be in partnership with life itself. And that diagram, that animation really helps us to feel that. And I think we're going to have to make it a screensaver that everybody in the connection field can download and put on their screen and just watch it unfold. I know Tammy did it. Tammy, didn't you do it for, like you said, an hour or something that you had it on?
All day. I had it on all day. I just kept it up on because I have 3 screens. So I just kept it up on the left screen. So it's kind of like the temperature setting for everything else, the foundation. It felt great. I loved it.
Yeah, lovely. Well, thank you, Khadijih, for that beautiful centering. And you're going to just be able to see a bunch of different ones of us sharing our heart with you today. Rollin McCraty is with us, so we'll get a chance to hear from him. But we're going to start by going to Julie Krull, who had a connection field 1.0. Some of you that are on the call were part of that beautiful experiment. And this is rising up out of that. It's like none of the things that we put energy into and went away have gone away. They've just created some really rich compost for a beautiful garden to flourish in. So I'm going to go ahead and spotlight your video, Julie, and so exciting that we get to be here in 99 days. We did our mission and now we're not stopping. We're rolling right along.
I love that. I love that you talked about the repurposing. It's like I was just on a call talking about superorganisms, and we don't waste resources as a superorganism. What we let off, someone else picks up and uses for fuel and nourishment and energy. And so I love that. So I just want to say yes, acknowledge many of you in the room are from Connection Field 1.0. Hello, good to see you all again. And yet, as I'm watching that amazing graphic from Alexei moving, it was like what I was feeling was like, oh yeah, we're over here in this community. And we were slowing down and getting to know each other. And then, oh, there's something going on. Oh, let's move over here really fast. And we started moving. And we've been watching this pattern of our communities doing that very thing. One community coming over and we share and we bring all of our good of the whole community over to World Unity Week, and we share, and then Unify has a big event and we're sharing that, and like we're in this beautiful dance. And I love that moving diagram that just brings to life the reality of the connection field. So just briefly, Connection Field 1.0 started in March of 2020 with COVID, when our advisory council said, what do we do to stay connected? We're supposed to, do the quarantine thing. And within 9 days, literally within 9 days, a 24-hour Zoom room was opened. And as soon as we put out just this little tiny 1 minute and 11 second 111, thanks, Teresa, video, Brother Chief Filling Jr. saw it and said, I'm bringing my community. And then others began to bring their community in. And it grew exponentially with no resources, with 100% volunteer teams holding it, and people saying, I'll do an offering, I'll do a sharing, and programming just emerged organically. And one of the special things that emerged during that time was the Resonance Lounge. We were practicing having a heart resonance meeting every Monday for 9 years, this collective together. And it was this really important piece for us to do a coherence practice and to bring that in. And so we're going to talk about that later when we bring in the Coherence Cafe. I'm really excited about what's to come. But as we began, I just want to close and then I'll pass the torch here. The connection field grew so fast and so many beautiful offerings. Many of those things are still going today, which is a tribute to incredible volunteerism and service of many. The fire team, many of you are in the room today with us. The fire still goes every single day. It's amazing, completely volunteer service. And many other offerings are still going. And some of those Resonance Lounge hours are still going. And many of the groups that got started on Monday afternoon, Men in Connection still's going, a women's talking circle still going. There's so many beautiful things. The Global Heart team is still there on Thursdays. So we've watched as those things happened while other organizations began doing the very same thing. World Unity Week emerged because it was going to be the caravan of unity across the US. But all of a sudden COVID set in, and how do we do it online? How do we do it virtual? And many different programs began. And so this is another up-leveling of many of our communities coming together, sharing resources, acting as a superorganism where we can share and really come together and work in reciprocity of really lifting up one another and doing even greater things than we could do as individual organizations. So we're really excited. Shout out to Teresa Collins with Global Coherence Pulse. Wow, like the infrastructure, the architecture, the dedication, the knowing how to bring communities, learning communities together online has been exquisite. Teresa brings an incredible energy in. Khadijih, as she mentioned, has been working behind the scenes tirelessly, helping get the islands up, helping to create that structure so it feels really good when we get there. And then, of course, our dear Tammy, Scarlett with Unify has been right in there with this core team, bringing something really special forward. So I'm going to pass the talking stick over to Tammy and just once again say thank you all for showing up here and welcome. And we'll see you inside the connection field, which adds so many different elements to what we've already done with Connection Field 1.0, that we have live and virtual experiences together. And we're really looking forward to continuing to up level those offerings and many of your islands that are getting turned on and opened up. And we'll talk about the Coherence Cafe in just a few minutes. Tammy.
Thank you so much, Julie. Wow, that was a kind introduction. I am thrilled to be here today with everybody in celebration of the Connection Field and the Coherence Cafe. And I'm thrilled to be able to be participating in this really fun, playful collaboration. Because when this came up, it did not feel like a task. It did not feel like something that had to get put on my calendar or my to-do list to satisfy on the checklist of like all the responsibilities or obligations for Unify. It felt like emergent. It felt exciting. It felt authentic. It felt beautifully invitational without any over attachment to exactly how it had to play out or exactly, what was going to be the outcome. The only thing that I think all knew together conversationally that was going to be an outcome was that it would be an iteration of some kind of new radical collaboration, that it would be a learning model of a play space of what would be possible when we all come together and try something new. And that has a lot of staying power or sticking power for me because it continues to be exciting. It's not a drop in the bucket, a flash in the pan. It's something that has an evolution to it that's like built in the framework of the way that it is that we're playing together. So I just wanted to share that piece because for me, that's my excitement of engagement, and that is not diminished. It keeps growing over time as we keep working on this together. And I've of course, I'm executive director of Unify, and I've brought to the table Unify as an organization to say, hey, we will fully be here. We'll show the connection field to our audience that's present on all these different platforms and show them what's possible when we co-create a play space together and a growing space together. Some of the ideas that I have had about that when really leaning in meditation time and when we're in these spaces together is that I think it's possible for people to be seen more, like truly seen, not like here's my selfie and here's what I ate for dinner scene, but here's like me and my life and my world and who I am in the world. And I want to see that in you too. And I think we'll get that opportunity in this space. And then also just being able to have an opportunity to engage authentically without it always having to be about marketing. Here's the attributes of you as a demographic. And so here's all the things that come at you on apps. But this is a way for us to experience technology in a way that is reflecting our authentic selves and then allowing us to be in reciprocity in that with each other. So I am just, look, we're not coming out the gate saying like, hey, this is something that we've figured out and here's how it works and here's how it's done. We're coming out the gate saying like, we have no idea how this works and let's play together and see what emerges. And so play with us, come play with us in here and see what emerges, see what's possible for you, what's possible for us, what's possible for our communities. If you haven't had a chance to check it out yet, then I know Khadijih is going to walk us all through how to get involved and what it's about and what's behind the curtain. But within the connection field is the thing that we're launching today here with everyone, which is the Coherence Cafe. And the reason that's so special to me is because that's going to be kind of our first, well, Teresa said it earlier, our first nurture offering. Here's a space where we can show up and be in this beautiful presence with ourselves, with the connection field, with the unified field, with each other. And so, yeah, I'm just wildly excited and honored to be a part of it. And thank you everybody who's here for your presence and your energy. And I hope we get to play together.
muted. I love you,
I love
Tammy. And I'm going to add Julie back in, and I'm going to start adding us because this is like really powerful, like Unify and good of the whole and the global coherence pulse. And next I'll be adding Claire from HeartMath. I'm going to be adding Khadijih. Like you're going to start to see there's already this incredible collaboration happening because we all care about our communities. We all want spaces where we can do what we like about being on social media, right? Which is like learn new things and connect with our friends and just kind of feel something, but we don't need to be getting advertisements that are distracting us. We don't need to be having what we see be, monitored or not shown to us, right? And in the connection field, we get to decide what that is, right? We're inviting in organizations that we love to come and play in there. And if you like them, you can follow them. And then their things show up on your feed. And you can actually build something that you could touch into every day if you wanted to have that touchstone, that you could say, oh my gosh, I've curated something that actually uplifts me every day. And I chose what that is, right? And I think that's what we need. I think we've kind of been lulled into using our tools and we're on them a lot. So if we want to start to change the way that we place our attention, maybe a little bit more inward on our own health and well-being and all of those things, sometimes we need some transition to help us get there. So how about if we use our kind of connectivity to these technologies and build what we're watching and what we're viewing and what we're interacting with them on be what will have us be more coherent and more in joy and more on purpose and more resilient and more aware and awake. So I love that. That's what we're creating here. It's like we're using tools. Mighty Networks is a good one right now. We're using it for the purpose of having an alternative place to come together, having a place that we can play and learn, having a place where we can share. How about sharing our authentic self? Like here we are, we're all, leaders of our organizations. We're here as us sharing our hearts, no pretense. That's what we need places to do so that we can be received and seen, as Tammy said, so that we can take the things that we've helped grow and then had to let go, see them turn into something else and be able to celebrate them, like Julie was talking about, right? And so all of that is possible when we have these kind of spaces for self-reflection and for, gaining more learning and knowledge. So yeah, check out the connection field. If you're not in there, there's a link in the chat. It's connectionfield.net. It's free to join. We're not charging for it like we did with the Islands of Coherence. We're going to figure out some other ways to make it so that we can have these spaces together. And part of it is, when you're in there and you start to see which organizations are coming together, and a lot of them are nonprofit organizations, if they have a little donate button and they're serving you, then donate to them. Those are wonderful ways for us to actually feed with our energy and our time and our resources, the things that are actually serving us to show up and be the best that we can be at this really crucial time on the planet. So there's going to be ways that we'll make sure that energy can flow through the system. So our playground is nourished and alive until it's not needed anymore. There might be a moment where a new system comes in and we're going to say, wow, that was so good what we learned. And now we're going to take that and we're going to blossom into even a new garden, right? We need to be willing to let go of everything we think it looks like and actually jump in and engage. And that's really what we're inviting from all of you. So I'm going to add another layer. I'm going to add into this beautiful group of women, Claire Shafe from HeartMath. She likes being behind the scenes, but we were saying, Claire, you got to come up and hang out. And so look at this. Now we have Unify, we have Good of the Whole, we have Global Coherence Pulse, we have HeartMath. These are leaders coming together saying it's important that we find ways to get out the messages that we have that are so important and that we can support ourselves first and foremost. Like Claire will tell her own story about the connection field. Like it's nourishing for us And then as it's nourishing for us, we know that it's nourishing for the communities that we love. So Claire, I'm so excited to have you here. I love your beautiful background. You always have the most glorious places. One of these days, you'll have to take us into your tent. That's one of my favorites.
Oh, yes. Well, another day. That's a little spectacular for our first introductory welcome. Thank you so much, Teresa. It's such a privilege and pleasure to join today with this amazing group of individuals and organizations committed to bringing more love, peace, and coherence to the planet. Like Khadijih said, it's very moving. I feel the power. I feel the alignment with all these beings who are with us now and those who are yet to come.
Mhm.
And being part of HeartMath Institute is an honor for me. I joined HeartMath as a student about 28 years ago, and I never looked back. It was my home. It was where I knew I was meant to be. Everything before that was leading up to this place, and I'm thrilled to be a part of HeartMath Institute and bring this to the world. And I guess I want to say we've been partners thanks to Teresa and her amazing ability to collaborate with others and bring like-minded energies together. We started with the Global Coherence Pulse 4 years ago. And again, from there, we got involved with Islands of Coherence, and now we're part of the connection field. And it's just wonderful to have a place where aligned beings can gather and share in an environment of collective consciousness for the good of the whole.
Yes.
So that's me.
We love you, Claire.
Thank you.
So
Thank
much.
you so
Like
much.
what you do for the teams and what you do for Rollin and what you do for HeartMath is so appreciated. And having your genius on the team really makes a difference. I really want you to know that the quality of your presence and your listening and your willingness to jump in as a student and as a pro, like that kind of consciousness, when we bring our curiosity and our not knowing along with our knowing, you do that so brilliantly. So
Thank you,
we're super
Teresa.
glad to have you on the team. And you're going to introduce Rollin, one of our
Yes.
favorite friends. Rollin. I'm going to bring him in. We'll surround him
Okay.
by women. Okay, here we
Yeah,
go.
he hates that. Well, let me introduce my colleague, friend, and the director of research at HeartMath Institute. Not only does he lead the research team to bring the science of spirit forth, but he also is the face of the Institute, sharing discoveries and validation of the science of the heart. Rollin, welcome. And I do have a question from the team. Our first question is, what is the goal of coherence in the global upshift?
Well,
You can, and you can, if you want to say hello first, we can always hold that question just a little bit because we love you, Rollin. We thank you so much for being here. And, you know, you are the face of not only HeartMath Institute, but I've noticed over in the last, like this year, like you're on interviews and courses, and that means that the idea of cultivating coherence has started to reach the masses. Like it's no longer just a little fringe thing, but it's out there. And I so appreciate all the things that you're doing to help spread the science and the experience of coherence. That's what HeartMath has done forever. And it's a blessing. And thank God more and more people are starting to get that. So thank you. Thank you, Rollin.
Thank you, Teresa. And, you know, to kind of echo a little bit some of what Claire said, you know, I couldn't remember. I'm glad Claire said it. 4 years ago was when the Pulse, it's been 4 years already. And I don't know that everyone really understands how, I think, important the Pulse was, what that started. And you know, I've been in the nonprofit world now for, I don't know, 30 some years and director of research, and can't tell you how many conversations I've had with other nonprofits over the years of, yeah, we have the same mission, we need to collaborate, blah, 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 blah. And then when the rubber met the road, it always fell apart. for various reasons. And the Pulse is the first to really bring organizations from around the world in a collaborative way that I've witnessed. So, and to see the evolution of it over the last 4 years is just awesome to me. And it is a hallmark. Collaboration is a hallmark of the new, of where we're headed, of the evolution of consciousness. We've got to get along with each other, right, and really collaborate. And from my perspective, and I think a lot of us here at HeartMath would say that probably the largest problem facing humanity is probably, well, it's not what a lot of people I think would guess. It's not necessarily global warming and on and on, the problems very real problems we face, but it's separation. From my perspective, it's the separation from our own larger selves, and who we really are. And then that translates down into to the world, the separation from others. And I think we see that mirrored in the world today, probably more than ever. And it's so important that we do come together, and the power of coming together, especially when we come together in coherence, which is kind of what our research has been around. And I like what you said, Teresa. And I have some vague memories now of 30 some years ago going to scientific conferences and talking about this concept of coherence in terms of our bodies and our physiology and our social interactions, and and how the heart and brain communicate with each other either coherently or not so coherently, and kind of getting the blank looks of like, what are you talking about? So to see coherence, Coherence even has its own summit coming up now, and to see it everywhere, and people talking about the heart and the heart-brain relationship and the importance of that. It's everywhere, and well, not everywhere. It hasn't necessarily hit the big masses, but it's certainly growing, and I think starting to cross over, as you said, into more of the mass consciousness. And I'm sorry, I forgot the question, Claire, that the team wanted to ask me. Or Teresa or Claire, one of you remind me.
I just, we want to know, what is the role of coherence in the global upshift?
In the global upshift? Well, I would say it's the key to the global upshift. Coherence, just as the term at a high level, is well, I could say it's a concept, but it's much more than a concept. It's coherence is fundamental to every branch of science there is, from the very small to the subatomic molecular level to the universe. Coherence is discussed and talked about, and it ultimately is really talking about or describing the harmonious relationships of the parts of complex systems. And in a coherent system, there's harmony. Things are getting together in an energy efficient way. And in a coherent system, and this is, I think, critical to understand, the parts have got to be connected. There is communication among the parts. Otherwise, you can't have that type of harmony. And so when we're talking about global coherence, we're talking about the interconnectedness of all the parts, us, but not just us, nature, trees, animals. It's the whole system. And the connection field, well, that's perfectly coined, because from my perspective, it is fields that connect us. And that's what led to the Global Coherence Initiative, which I forget how long ago we started as a special research project, probably at least 15 years ago, where we're measuring the fields of the earth, the magnetic resonant fields of the earth and people, and looking at the interconnectedness. And I'm not going to go into all the science stuff today, but a lot of amazing, surprising findings have come out of that's published, and I've talked about before on the pulses and things. But one of I believe, well, I know in some levels, I actually know, but also believe that we are interconnected in multiple levels in multiple ways. One of those are the fields we can measure. And that's like GCI and where we're measuring that interconnectedness of the fields we live in, which I'm suggesting connect us all. And as Teresa will often, I think, repeat now, a saying that's come out of that work is, become more aware of what we're feeding the field. And I would add part two, that we can say scientifically now, yes, because it matters. What we feed the field has very real and measurable consequences in the way it interacts with the world, in the physical world. And The Global Coherence Initiative has also evolved as well since we first started it. And I'm really honored to be the pulse being part of that from my perspective. Because bringing us together to add more love, intentionally add more coherently focused love and compassion to the planetary field environment. And then so we started with the Global Coherence Monitoring System, which is a network of magnetometers around the Earth to measure the resonant frequencies in the Earth's field, which overlap with our physiology, by the way, which is kind of amazing. Then we, because I'm suggesting all the fields we live in connect all systems, living systems, including nature. So we added a global tree monitoring project to have trees. And trees are awesome research participants because they don't mind if we put a couple of electrodes in them and they stay put, right? So we can monitor them 24 hours a day, year after year. And so I'm thrilled to say that project was way harder to do than I thought it would be. It's finally up and running, and we've got about almost 100 trees all around the world now that were being monitored. In fact, Grace is the name of Teresa's tree that has one of our monitors on it.
Yeah.
And I actually remembered your tree's name. Then we also introduced which I think everybody here is familiar with, the Global Coherence app, which not only allows us to measure our personal coherence, but the community's coherence. And that's really important from a research perspective because we want to ask new questions. We know, well, before I go there, the latest addition is the Global Consciousness Project 2.0. And one of the questions I'm most often asked is, okay, we come together, we do these global meditations or prayers or whatever they are. So what? Does it matter? Does it do anything? And GCP 2.0 gives us a new way of addressing that question. So that's why I can say with confidence, yes, it does matter. And this is the next evolution of the Global Consciousness Project started by Roger Nelson, and who approached me, I'm honored to say, about 3 years ago and said, please take this over. I'm retiring. It can't, it's got to go forward. And which I agreed with. It's just too important of a project. I resisted for a year, but finally agreed to do it. It's been a huge undertaking and a completely redesigned, re-envisioned version of this. So these are all citizen scientist projects that all of us, the community, can get involved in different ways around the world to really address the questions. How are we interconnected? Does it really matter? Is there a global consciousness? Do we affect the field? Does our individual contributions matter? These are the questions we're addressing. And one of the, I'll just mention this because one of the hypotheses, I'll say, of GCP 2.0, which is different than GCP 1, which showed that if those of you that may not be familiar with, I think most here would be, is that when something happens in the world, it gets a lot of attention, immediate attention, that a lot of people pay attention to and feel something is the important part, that it interacts with these devices around the world in a measurable way. So that's why we can say with confidence that the quality of our consciousness does interact with the physical world. But these events that showed these results, which are the results, by the way, are 1 trillion to 1 odds against chance that this is a real effect. So it's very, very strong statistics. But these were large events or events that evoked a response in a large number of people. One of our new questions and hypotheses, which we already have some supporting data for, I'll say ahead of time, is that it isn't so much the number of people, it's the quality of the consciousness. It's how coherent are we? In other words, a much smaller group who are coherently focused with a shared intention can also impact the world in a measurable way, right? Maybe even more so. So that's one of the new questions we're asking. We're starting to ask that already. And in fact, the Global Coherence Pulse was the first place we looked at that. And Teresa, I know you know. And yes, the answer is, at least the preliminary answer is yes. Even a much smaller number of people, in the hundreds, can have a measurable effect on the entire global field. And I do think of it anyway as a field effect. So we've got the energetic fields we live in that we can measure, but there's also the deeper, let's call it consciousness field, or the planetary information field, as I sometimes refer to it, that we're all connected to. And on that note, just as something to consider, I mean, we're certainly when we come together like today and do meditations like we started with, there is a nonlinear amplification effect. And that's awesome because we are literally pulsing the field, right? With more love and compassion. The thing I'd invite you to try and keep in mind is we're always connected to the field. It's not just when we come together for events like this or on full moon care focuses and things that we do. So that's why I'm always encouraging everyone to pause throughout the day. Whenever you can remember to do so, and just simply ask yourself, what am I feeding the field? My local field. Am I feeding the field maybe impatience, right? Frustration, traffic jams, right? Or that interaction I had with someone. Extreme cases, maybe anger, right? Or am I feeding the field kindness, compassion, appreciation, gratitude, right? And if you find yourself maybe in one of those lower vibrational radiations we're doing, because we can measure that, we really are radiating into the field in a measurable way. Pause, shift to the heart, take a few breaths through the heart, right? Activate a more renewing feeling, one that we want to choose in other words, let's choose what we're feeding the field with more consciousness and become co-creative in the new world, is the way I like to think of it, the new earth. So, Teresa, thank you for inviting me, and lovely to be here and see everyone. I see so many familiar faces and a lot of new faces as well.
I know we love you. We love you so much, Rollin. And I love how you've been able to bring the science. Like anytime we need the science of coherence, because the science really helps us to reinforce the experiences that we're having and give them some validation. So we keep kind of choosing it and coming forward. And you always do both in such a really beautiful and elegant way. So thanks for adding your love. I'm gonna add Julie back in. I'm gonna add Tammy back in. I know Tammy, you were gonna just mention something. We're also on Upshift forum right now. All the people that are kind of coming together for another collaboration, and so they'll get to share in these insights. But yeah, I wanted to see if you ladies wanted to add something here while we have Rollin and what we feed the field.
Yeah, I would just say thank you. Thank you, Rollin. I'm so grateful for your presence and your work and your vantage points that you've been able to so eloquently share with the people that are in your sphere and your space as that expands over time. It's been something that's been foundational for others of us to be able to not only receive and implement in our own lives, but build on with what we are trying to ripple out into the field and humanity. And one of the reasons I'm so excited about this also being a part of the World Upshift Forum right now is because it's another convergence of collaboration. We have these, I like to call them legacy peacekeepers and legacy change makers, much like you, Rollin, doing this work that is really has been anchoring pieces and segments of what is necessary, so much of it foundational for the work that is needed to be done to move forward with the noosphere and the recent holo movement that's come up, a lot of the peace work that has been, quietly tucked away in little corners of the world, but really acupuncture points for building the field. And so I'm very, very grateful, Rollin, for all that you've done and the fact that we get to now kind of knit this together, because there's so much that's emerging in a much, much larger collaboration. We're a part of something so much bigger than we probably even know or realize. So deepest gratitude. Thank you for being here and sharing your wisdom and experiences with us.
I'm going to just say ditto. Thank you, Tammy. And yes, thank you, Rollin. The thing that I think is really essential in what brings us together now is coherence. It's the heart of everything these organizations are and stand for. And yet it's like also, it's not just a practice of coherence, it's a pathway forward for us. So as more and more we're hearing this need to collaborate and to network and to build networks of networks, and Tammy mentioned Upshift is one, and the whole movement's one, coherence is essential. So we are so proud that we get to have HeartMath sitting in the very center, and all the work, the decades of work that you brought, Rollin, teaching us through research and continuing to just champion the whole idea of coherence and the essential nature of who we be as consciousness in this field of coherence. So thank you, HeartMath. Thank you, Rollin, and your words and your teaching is essential. And I look forward to many, many more experiments, talks, conversations, and experiences inside the connection field and the Coherence Cafe.
Yeah.
Me too.
We're going to get using the new app more. It's so beautiful, you guys. The new app is just incredible. And it is an opportunity for us to, feel our own coherence and see how we're doing. And like, what does it really take to actually come into a coherent state inside of ourselves so that we know we have that when those moments where we're not being as patient and we need to choose it. But then we also get to see what's happening when we come together in community. And as Rollin said, that's super powerful. And I'm going to share one slide really quick about something that's happening again. Like this is coming just in the next end of the month, the Art and Science of Cultivating Coherence Summit, just like the forum that's happening now. All of these people coming together and talking about the art and science of cultivating coherence. And Rollin, you were interviewing so many of these as part of this project. It's pretty exciting to see this much going on around something that just even a few years ago, we really didn't hear a lot. Do you want to say something about this while we have the slide up?
Sure. I mean, I'm co-hosting this with Dr. Christine Schaffner. So we kind of divvied up the interviews, and we got a lot of awesome speakers in here, including you, Teresa.
I know.
One of the guests. I really enjoyed our interview. And it's a free conference. And one of the things that means you brought this up, that we were talking about coherence, was one of my favorite interviews was actually with Urban Laszlo. And what Urban said, I had never heard it said quite this way before, but this won't be his exact words. It'll be pretty close. He said, baked into the Big Bang or the Big Breath, whichever it really ended up, was an intelligence that is continuously evolving the universe and everything within it towards coherence. It's what it's all about. So I thought it was a great short one sentence summary of really the experience of the universe itself, evolving towards coherence.
Great.
Well,
We're
anyway,
so
I hope
excited.
you all will check out the summit and some of the speakers. There's a lot of awesome, a lot of really neat interviews and very different perspectives on both the science of coherence and the practical side of how do we, in our day-to-day lives, what do we actually can we do to become more coherent? A lot of really good advice came out of it.
Yeah. Well, we're going to feature it in the connection field, right? So as we have opening up the Coherence Cafe, this is something that's happening for a number of days. And so we'll make sure that the schedule's there and you can join in on any of those things. We just put a link in the chat if you want to sign up for it so you get the notifications. But it's exciting that we are actually starting to see these kind of events like the Global Uplift Forum, like the Art and Science of Cultivating Coherence. We're getting the kind of food that we need to support us to really go for it. So thanks, Rollin. We love you. Thanks for taking time out of your day to be with us. I'm going to bring, my pleasure. Yeah, thanks, Rollin. I'm going to bring on Hera. Let's see. Let's see if I can find her. Let's see. Wave your hands.
I'm here.
Oh, let's see. I'm scrolling. Oh, there you are. Gosh, you were just right in the very. So I'm going to put your spotlight in. Hera from Unify. Tammy's brought her in. We've all been bringing in a key player from our teams that we just need to have on our team in order to help us do what we're doing more effectively. And that's the real fun part about this collaborative effort, is that everybody comes in and they do the part that's their superpower. Like Alexi doing the graphics or dancing tango, right? That's the other thing that he does really great. But we all come together and we do our part. And Hera's recently joined us, and she's already just adding so much richness to our work. Hera, lovely to have you and open up for your authentic sharing today.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. I'm like what Teresa said, I'm Kara from Unify, and I'm just so happy to be with you here today. And like mentioned many times, we will be unveiling the Coherence Cafe in a moment. But at this point, we want to take this opportunity to invite you to join the connection field if you're not a member yet, and share this community to your friends and family. So please consider this as your personal invitation to step into the connection field. The website is on the chat. Firstly, we don't want you to journey alone. So the beauty of connection unfolds exponentially when it's shared. So please invite your family, your friends, and those kindred spirits to explore, feel, and co-create within this enchanting field. We want you to make every day a celebration of us, our togetherness, our shared pulses of creation. So if you may wonder how to join this. So it's super simple. All you need to do is go to connectionfield.net. The link is on the chat. Share it to your friends and family. And as soon as you join, you could go to start here. It's a section where you get all the deets on how to set up your profile, and you'll be guided on how to navigate the connection field and have access to the featured news and events right away. So there you can navigate through the play spaces, partake in whatever heartwarming activities you may come up with, and just be in togetherness, happening in each of these islands. So you'll see more of that when you log in. So here within these walls is a space crafted with intention and with love for all of you. So at this point, let us just take a moment to take a minute to just be, to breathe, and to visualize this wonderful space we're creating together. Ready? Let's take a deep breath in and let it out. So close your eyes and picture this: our connection field. It's buzzing with life, with stories, with all our energy. Picture a field where connections are not merely made, but are deeply felt and celebrated. Envision yourself, your friends, and a community of like-hearted beings converging in a vibrant tapestry of shared stories, joys, reflections, and collective aspirations. Envision a virtual space that doesn't merely exist, but truly thrives, inhales, exhales, and blossoms with your presence, your reflections, and the wisdom residing in each one of you. Every heartbeat, every shared breath shall weave a richer tapestry of collective experience, of collective coherence. It's a place where our stories and dreams come together, making something truly special each and every day, each and every moment. Feel that? That's the connection field. That's all of us together. And it's beautiful. And when you're ready, open your eyes. Greet you and your dear ones with open hearts and vibrant smiles. And we have more to share after this. So please stay for the specific details about the Coherence Cafe, which is a beautiful space we're launching today. Thank you very much, everyone, for this opportunity.
Love you, Hera. That's so nice.
Love you all.
Yay. You can see we have such a great team, like all these, and we haven't stopped. There's going to be so many more beautiful faces. But you know what? We're not streaming out anywhere right now. We'll post that. So I'm going to go ahead and play a little piece of music from one of our Global Coherence Pulses, Theo Grace. And while I'm doing that, if you want to go sign up for the connection field, just so that you're like in the soup, right? And then Khadijih and a bunch of others are going to come in and they're going to share about the launch of the Coherence Cafe. So here we go. I'm going to share this. It's a beautiful piece that we recorded with our friend Theo Grace, who's taking a little break, but we've been missing him so much that I'm like wanting to kind of bring him back. So this is going to be the start of that. Here we go, Theo Grace.
Brings me to my knees when the walls get too heavy to hold. Will you remind me to love a little more? Oh, oh, love a little more. Oh, oh,
Thank
How many
you,
people here find that
Theo.
faster? How many people
We
wanna
love you.
remember more?
Thank you, Theo, so
Yeah,
much.
watch this. Make a fist, put it to your chin.
Oh, look,
Where's your chin?
Jackie. Wow. Look who's here.
number
Gosh,
one,
so many
part of
amazing,
memory, the
friendly.
attention.
I've got to go turn off this sound, you know, when you do that. So, Khadijih, I'm going to let you jump in, okay?
Hello, everyone again. So good to be here with all of you. What an awesome experience. If you're having fun, if you're enjoying this conversation, just go ahead. I want to see those ones in the chat. Just really, what does this feel like to you? And maybe even pop in some words of what's resonating the most with you right now. What are you really feeling? Are you feeling the aliveness of the field? It's so powerful when we come together in this way. We truly do make a difference. And so we're going to move into the section of this experience to launch the Coherence Cafe. This is so beautiful and so amazing. And Teresa's going to bring it up on screen just in a moment, just to show you that it's open. It's already open. If you're in the connection field, we've opened it up. You've been automatically added to it. It's a play space to kickstart your coherence practice. It's a space for us all to come together as a community. It's a space for us to connect in coherence in our hearts and truly embody who it is that we want to bring to the world. Who do we want to show up as? Who do we want to be?
How many people went during that little song and signed up for the connection field? Did you go jump in? I'm so excited to see you in here. You can see the connection field. The connection field's super easy to navigate. There's a home, and that's where you want to go first, so that you can just learn a little bit about it. And under our featured play spaces, that's where you're going to find the Coherence Cafe. You can click on it. You can find the feed so that you can see some of the beautiful things that are already being offered. And there is an events calendar where Khadijih will share a little bit more, but you can find all kinds of wonderful ways to connect with different members of the community that are offering things. Look at all these beautiful offerings, all coming from members of the old connection field, from the islands of coherence, and from new community that's coming together. And then if you get really adventurous and you want to go check out some of the islands, you can see there are tons of islands that are coming together: Unify, Good of the Whole, HeartMath, Wisdom of the New Reality, all kinds of ones that you could follow and show up in your feed. So come and take your time. Don't get overwhelmed. There's little steps that help you know what to do next. Take them. Don't rush. And just know there's lots of play to be had here. Yeah. And it's not only a web app, but it's also a mobile app. So you can check in anytime from your mobile device. So Khadijih, you have all kinds of fun friends that are joining you for this half hour where we can learn about what's happening in the connection field. So why don't you guide us in what you want to share, and I can start to bring on some of our friends.
Wonderful. Yeah, thank you, Teresa. So I actually want to first pull up Julie Krull, have Julie Krull come back and share a little bit about this intention that's been seeded here with the connection field in the Coherence Cafe. You know, her and I just want to share this little tidbit. It came in, and I had just come back from a women's retreat, and I was in South Dakota, sitting outside in the mountains. It was beautiful. I mean, her and I were on a call, and we were talking about this idea of the Coherence Cafe and the history of the Resonance Lounge. And it was just like as if both of our hearts collided and connected in such a beautiful way. And it was so alive, this vision in our hearts. And we just knew that it had to be one of the next steps of the connection field. And so to be here with you all today in this launch of it is just, it's heart opening, it's inspiring, and it's beautiful. And so Julie, would you like to share a little bit about the Resonance Lounge and how it's transitioned into the Coherence Cafe?
Thank you, Khadijih. That was a magical moment. And the mountain town, little village where you were was just a big part of bringing this forward too. It was just this yummy, warm feeling. You know, the original connection field began with us saying, okay, the first thing we're doing is we're just going to open a Zoom room and we're going to practice coherence every day. We're going to open with a heart resonance. And we called that the Resonance lounge. And we opened several hours a day, every day. And this original connection field was like this 24-hour Zoom room that just stayed open. It was before everybody was really navigating Zoom and knowing how to use it. And we just said, why not keep it open? And we always had to have a laptop and an iPad and things to keep it open so anybody could come in day or night and connect there. But what happened was the Resonance Lounge was a new concept for many of the communities that were coming in that hadn't practiced heart resonance or coherence before. So every hour we would pause, we would breathe, we would come into coherence together with an attunement. We called it an attunement. Some people would call it a meditation. There's a lot of different language that we all use from different cultural perspectives. But we would come into this beautiful space together. And that's where we noticed the magic was happening. And that's where we noticed the most growth. People would come in and feel so safe and feel that they belonged. And the lounge just opened us to general conversation, to connect, to explore, to learn, to be there. But when we really came into it from that place of resonance and coherence, we entered the magic zone. And many share that that's where I grew the most. That's where I woke up to this. That's where it was a new way of being on the planet together. So we knew, and Khadijih and I sitting in on that one Zoom room, we knew that this part of the connection field had to come back into this idea. So Resonance Lounge is now a part of this Coherence Cafe. It's a little bit bigger because we're kickstarting the coherence practice. And I just want to say, with the gratitude, deep gratitude again for HeartMath, we're heavily curating the Coherence Cafe so that we can lift up this science and really broaden it and hold it for as many people as possible. So right now, the Coherence Cafe is very, like I want to say, it's very curated and vetted on who's holding space inside the Coherence Cafe for us while we're all practicing, learning, and growing together. Now, that doesn't mean there's not other places that many different people are going to offer programs and veer from that central intention. But we hold this as a very precious thing that really unites all of us. And like Rollin said, what we feed the field matters. And so we're happy to invite you into this. It's Coherence Cafe. I love the vibe of that. There's a lot of other fun metaphors that are arising out of this, a place for us to connect. And at first, you're going to see some programming, some education. Sign up for a little tour with Khadijih. That will be a nice place for you to get involved with the connection field and find your way around. And the room will likely expand hours and be open like it was with Good of the Whole, where you can go in day or night. There might not be a host there, but one of the things that was fun was that those that were hosting the Resonance Lounge, and you're going to meet a couple of them today, they have had moving experiences even when the room might be empty, and they come in and they set that tone and attune to the field and just hold resonance, and magic happens for them as hosts as well as those who are participating and coming in to share in that space. So each hour will be different. The quality will be heart-centered, and we're excited to see how it will evolve for each of us as we enter the Coherence Cafe and watch it grow and evolve as well. So thanks, Khadijih.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Julie. And just while you're here, I just want to bring Claire Shafe up onto the call as well. She joined with Julie, myself, and Alexei, who's going to speak in a little bit, on one of our regular team meetings. And we just had such a profound conversation about what we were cultivating in the cafe that I just want to bring her on to share a little bit of her beautiful wisdom and into
Let's see,
heart
Claire.
intelligence.
Claire, are you still here? I didn't.
I'm still here.
Okay, let's see.
There we go. I got her.
Great. Okay, perfect.
Well, I just wasn't prepared. I feel like the Coherence Cafe has an opportunity to be a sacred space to honor science with spirituality. And it's a great privilege is the word that keeps coming up for me, to have a space like that where people understand that there's real, like Rollin said, it's real. And we really have an opportunity to keep delving deeper and deeper into our hearts and see the field that we're creating with everybody who joins. It's a very sacred space. So I'm going to keep it simple, but I just really want to acknowledge all the work that has gone into this to create this platform. Teresa, Julie, Tammy, Khadijih, Alexi, on and on and on. And we're just very fortunate to be a part of this. So thank you all very much.
Thank you so much, Claire. Love to hear you speak. You have such a beautiful voice and so wise, so wise.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah. So now we're going to go ahead and we're going to bring on some of the hosts of the cafe. I want to actually start with Gracelyn and Michelle Marie. We'll do Gracelyn first and then Michelle, you can come on after. And these are two of our hosts of the Resonance Lounge. So they were holding the space, and I believe that they've been holding the space. Julie, you can correct me. Grace, you can correct me. They've been holding the space all this time since they opened the Resonance Lounge and into this transition of it being part of the Coherence Cafe. They've still been holding that space. And so just I want to bring them on. Grace, you can go ahead and share a moment, just whatever comes to your heart about the Resonance Lounge and your offering the Love Bubble Hour in the cafe, and the floor is yours, my dear.
Oh, thank you. My tears are coming to my eyes. And holding it all this time, knowing something was going to evolve, but just holding it and sending love out. We do the Global Heart Team on Thursdays at 4:00 Eastern. And we are sending love and compassion out in the world, knowing we couldn't measure it at the time, but we knew we were making a difference. And it just feels, like you said, magical. And that is so true. There's magic when two loving hearts or more gather together. That's global heart power. And so that happens in the connection field, in the Resonance Lounge, and when we're in the programs, themes. So anyone's welcome for the Global Love Bubble Hour. We just send love out around the world, peace, joy, compassion. So please join us.
Thank you so much, Grace. It's so wonderful to have you as a host in the cafe and to continue hosting. So again, if you, as was mentioned before, you'll find all the scheduled events in the cafe and you can see it regularly. We're going to do 1 month at a time, so you always can kind of keep up to date on a month and it's not overwhelming. But just want to hand the floor over to you, Michelle Marie. Beautiful bright light behind you is just shining your radiance out. It's so wonderful. You can go ahead and unmute and take it away.
Hello, and thank you to you, and thanks to everyone. I mean, it is so exciting to just being part of all these different iterations to get to this place and holding the space, and what a great privilege and honor. And it really is following that impulse. And to, for those of you who have been with me, a couple of you have been with me from the beginning with Good of the Whole. And I didn't even know I had no clue what I was doing. And the first time I heard coherence, I didn't really get what that was. And so it's really fun to be here now and actually be someone holding that space and who's been doing it for a while, and just being here and working with and being with such amazing individuals who follow that impulse, right? And that's really what it is, because we understand the connection, we get to recognize it. As we heard earlier, that we're never not, my English teacher wouldn't like that very much. We're always connected to the field, right? And it's just, we get to start recognizing it with a conscious awareness is super thrilling. And so I'm really grateful, and I'm grateful that Julie pulled me in all those years ago, and allowed me to come in when I was clueless, and now finding myself in this place. And I have a great honor of working with Grace all the time. So I'm super excited, and I have 2 offerings that I'm going to continue doing. One is the connection field, like we've been doing. We've been doing it on Mondays and Wednesdays, and that's going to be on our Monday at 12 o'clock Central Time. I operate in Central Time. And it really is an introduction to this for people who haven't come. You know, if you have friends and stuff who haven't done any of this before, sometimes it can be really intimidating to jump right into something where everybody's going really deep. That's what I did. I went into the deep end. I kind of almost drowned there, but I survived, and in a beautiful way. But that's what we do on Mondays is do an introductory place. And there's a group of us who have been meeting since we started this in COVID, and they're excited to branch out and have it expand as well, and to really go back to our roots of inviting new people into the field. And then on Wednesdays at the same time, I'm holding a space for what my umbrella is in my everyday life, which is called Love Voice Rising. And it's really getting connected to that inner voice of love, and how we can do that, and how we can live that out loud for ourselves. And for some of us, again, living out loud doesn't always mean in volume. It just means in our own way. What is that voice calling us and leading us to do? And then for anyone who's listening right now, who's a little nervous to jump in because you think maybe you can't do the technology aspect of it, trust me, if I can get there, anyone can. And I see a few of you laughing because you know my talents in this area. But really, be brave, go boldly, and really participate. I'm excited to be here and see, I mean, all the learning I'm going to have as well. So thank you for letting me be a part of it. It's exciting to be connected here.
Thank you so much, Michelle. It's so wonderful to be here with both of you, to have you both here. I've had the honor of getting to work with Gracelyn and Michelle Marie behind the scenes for the last couple months, and they have just moved my heart. I always love meeting with them, and they're just beautiful, bright lights. And so I'm excited for the community to get to experience the love that they both hold and that they have to share with the world, because they're beautiful, precious souls. So so again, check out the calendar, join their offerings. And Julie, before we move on to the next guest, I would just want to see if you want to share anything as well.
I'm just so happy that I see Grace and Michelle here, and they're both published authors too, who wrote about love and coherence and how it can change our world and change our lives. And just the evolution of just being here in this room with you right now makes me so happy, and my heart expands so much. So thank you for your undying service to good of the whole, and everything you've brought into the connection field and the Resonance Lounge over these last 3.5 years. Thank you.
Thank you both. So the next host and guest that we want to bring on is Alexei Vase. And so Alexei is the creator of that wonderful graphic, right, that we showed earlier in the meeting, in this session, and we'll have to bring that up again in a little bit. And I've been working with Alexei now for 2 or 3 years. I don't even know, but it feels like a long time and no time at all. And he's just a wonderful collaborator, and I'm so grateful. We both have produced offerings in the Islands of Coherence, and now he's bringing, just like I am, we're both bringing our offerings over. And so I just want to bring Alexei on, and you could go ahead and share about your offering, share about your experience, whatever comes from the heart.
Thank you so much, Khadijih. Wow, it's wonderful to connect with all of you. Claire, it is a privilege indeed. I totally agree with you there. My name is Alexei. I'm with the Global Coherence Pulse. I host an island here on the connection field, which is called Becoming the Butterfly. My island's offering to the community of this wonderful network is what I call Imagine Meditations. These guided meditations are tools which help you envision, embody, and feel the reality you prefer. Each meditation focuses on a topic, and this can be anything like education system, monetary system, family, creativity, health, and so on. And my goal with the Imagine meditations is to help you clarify your vision of your preferred reality which is the first and the most important step towards creating the world in which you want to live. And the format plays a big role here. The guidance is put together in the form of questions so that you are the one who creates the images, the sounds, and the sensations in your body. Now, I love the questions that Rollin posed. I believe the quality of the questions you ask is directly related to the quality of the experience you're creating. Because your mind goes to work filling all the juicy little details, and this focus is what ushers in the desired emotions. And these emotions are essential in creating your preferred reality. They take you a big step closer to experiencing it firsthand. You've probably heard of the study in which about 4,000 people were meditating together in Washington, D.C., and they've achieved some fascinating results. They dramatically reduced crime in the region. And I believe that's just the tip of the iceberg. The quantity of the participants who are holding a similar vision simultaneously has an exponential effect on the field. Imagine the kinds of changes we will catalyze when we join together to clarify our collective vision of the world in which we all want to live. I will lead the Imagine meditations in the Coherence Cafe Zoom lounge every other Tuesday. The next Imagine meditation will take place a week from now on Tuesday, October 10th at 10 a.m. Pacific. I'm looking forward to co-creating a wonderful world together with you.
Beautiful. Thank you, Alexei. And his meditations are so wonderful. I would join them when he would do them in the Islands of Coherence, and they really just help you drop right in. Your voice, Alexei, is so wonderful and beautiful and grounding, and it's always just what I need. And it seems like whatever he's got planned is always perfect for wherever we are in the field. And so I'm just going to follow Alexei and let everyone know that I will also be bringing in a heart-centered meditation. And I'm going to be doing it on the opposite week of Alexei. That way there's a meditation, a heart-centered pulsing meditation, at least once a week, of a specific time that's focused solely pretty much on meditation and other things. My meditation are radiant heart meditations. They're an opportunity to connect in your heart and to pulse the field with love. You know, as so many have shared, and as Alexei just shared, the peace meditations, one individual in heart coherence can truly affect many, right? Thousands. So when we come into resonance, when we come into heart coherence, we're truly helping to send a ripple out into the field that can uplift the planet and help shift the tides to a world fueled by love instead of fed by fear. So we hope that you'll join those meditations. They're going to be wonderful opportunities to connect as the community and to connect in the field, to drop into our hearts. So I'm like really loving seeing all the hosts as we're gathering here on the screen, and we're gonna go ahead and bring up Doherty Wesley next. Doherty is a beautiful soul sister and friend of mine, as well as she's been a colleague and a collaborator in the Islands of Coherence and now in the connection field. And she's going to be offering something I believe each week, except there's one in October that she's gonna be out for. But I'm gonna go ahead and let you share, Doherty, about what you're offering and whatever is on your heart today.
Thank you. It is, I use the word too, Claire. It is a privilege to share in the connection field, to be a part of it. I am a part of the Islands of Coherence as we've moved to now into the connection field. And I'm so excited to be here. For those who don't know me, I'm an author, an attorney, a death diva, and a wisdom share, and a resource for evolutionary consciousness. And I'm really excited to share in our Coherence Cafe the space that I'm calling living in coherence, because I feel there's a lot of practical application, like Michelle was saying, that if you don't know or you do know, or maybe you've been practicing it for a while, or maybe you haven't practiced it at all. But what I want to do is create a support space where we can come together and kind of feel and get into coherent state and to deepen it as we move into our lives and support our journeys along the way, right? One thing I love to share whenever I have an opportunity is to say that whether you realize it or not, the greatest power you have as a human being is to raise your own consciousness, to evolve yourself to new levels of understanding, wisdom, skills, things you may not have experienced before. And then comes the realization that when we raise our own consciousness, when we raise our own awareness, we raise the field. The consciousness of humanity gets raised. Like Rollin said, Teresa, Julie, as we all say, Khadijih, all of us say, and you know in your hearts, what we feed the field matters. And therefore our coherence practice needs to be bumped up. We need to put some practical applications. How do we do it? How does it work in real life? And that's kind of what I want to share on living in coherence. As we come together, conversations about how do we do this? And how is it working for you? And how can we help? How can we share with each other and grow that? So I'm on for Tuesday mornings, Pacific time, 11 o'clock Pacific time after the meditations. So we'll move right into conversation. I hope you'll join me and we'll have some conversations and see about coherence. Thank you so much. I'm so excited.
Thank you so much, Dorothy. Oh, it's going to be such a awesome experience to be able to be a part of your offering and to hear your wisdom and to be in the field with you. I'm just truly looking forward to this. It's time, right? It's time. So
Love you, Dorothy.
Yeah. So I know that we're right at the 90-minute mark, but we have two more guests that we want to bring on, and then we're going to close with a music video. And so I just want to bring on our next guest. This is Annette Dial. I hope I'm saying your last name right. And she's with HeartMath Institute as well. She's going to be I'm going to let her share a little bit about your offering within the Coherence Cafe.
Hi, everybody. Nice to see you all. So I'll be hosting Global Coherence app practice during the full moon. And the intention really is to have more people use the app so we can use the data for science and can really see all the wonderful information coherence we're feeding the field, how this is really having a positive impact. And so those coherence practices will be mostly during full moon, maybe not everyone, but it will be announced in the Coherence Cafe and also with Teresa's Global Coherence Pulse. So thank you very much and hope to see you soon.
Annette, I'm so excited that you're doing that. Like for those of us that, want to start using the app more and really start to use that tool, because it's a powerful tool. And we always say, like, if you have the app, go ahead and, sign on and join the global group. But if we really start to do it, and these little calls that you're doing, they're like a 30-minute coherence practice. So we get a quick coherence practice, different ones from HeartMath, but we also get you helping us to figure out how to use the app better. So thanks for doing that. Super excited that we have that. And the app is called Global Coherence. So if you look up, go to the Apple Store or the Google Play Store, and you just look up Global Coherence and you'll find it. And it is a project that HeartMath has been doing for a long time. And the new version of the app is awesome. So check it out.
And it's for free.
Right.
Yeah.
And can I add, you don't have to limit yourself just to full moons, but we invite you anytime you'd like to just get on and join with others on the app. Anytime you want to join, please join with others around the world. And there's even a map that you can see other people that you're participating with.
It's so cool how many things when we all come together, like I'm just looking at the screen now and I'm thinking of all the different offerings that everybody's doing, and I get to have it all in one place. So I don't have to search in my email and find the link to that thing. I can just go on the calendar and see what's happening today that might nourish me with where I'm at. Like, how cool is that?
So beautiful, so beautiful. And thank you so much, Annette and Claire. that I love the Global Coherence app, and my inner balance sensor broke. So I think that's a good indication that I need to get the new one that just came out. And there's a new sensor that came out and it seems amazing. And for any of you out there that have more analytical minds, that to me was a huge shift for me when I started using the sensor years ago. It created a massive shift because I was able to see an actual representation of what was happening in my body on a screen, right? You're like in red, you're like, oh, I'm freaking out. And then you're in green and you're like, wow, I know I'm in coherence. And you could feel that difference. And that truly started to change a lot of my experiences with the world. So looking forward to your offering, Annette, because I think that's going to be an awesome experience for the community to get more comfortable with that app. And there's the finger sensor, right? So you can do it without an actual inner balance sensor.
Yes, we have. Yeah, you can use a camera sensor on your iPhone that you can join. Sorry, I have a lot of people. There's 3 people in my office, but the camera sensor is great because you can do it anytime, anywhere. You don't have to have your sensor with you.
Don't have to purchase anything.
Great.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So we want to just go ahead and bring on our final host, although I say final, but just for today, for now, for the time being, I'm sure that the Connection or Coherence Cafe hosts are going to continue to grow, as the hosts of Islands in the Connection Field are going to grow. There's going to be an opportunity for all of you members to come in and steward spaces. So be on the lookout for things like that. And you can always reach out to me. I'm the host account on the Connection Field 2.0. You can reach out to me and I can answer any of your questions. But for now, we want to bring on Hera. Hera is our newest partner joining our Connection Field team. And we just want to bring her on to share a little bit about her future vision of what to offer and just some other heartfelt thoughts. Hera, let's see. There you go.
Hi, everyone. So one thing that has been coming up, that keeps coming up for me, is that in the coherence space, we're not just presenting a virtual space, but rather we're gently pulling back the veil and revealing not just another online community, but something that feels like a daily practice, like a shared heartbeat, something that we'll keep coming back to. And in this space, we want to get to know you, play with you, and really deeply connect. And I'm sure all of you would agree with this. So what I'm feeling called to do is to go bring you something that's called Cafe Reflections. That's the name for now. Everything is fluid, everything is malleable, but think of it as daily espresso shots for your soul, bringing unique flavor with it, maybe a jolt of energy, or just sharing experiences that range from either reflective or expressive. So as this is something new, we will not really have rules for this, but only accept that every single day we will bring you content that's anywhere from 1 to 3 minutes long, interactive content that you could use either for your morning practice or any part of your day, so we could make it a habit to connect and grow together. So I love what Julie said about this when I first shared it to the group. Think of it as homeopathic microdoses of anything that wishes to come through. And it's super funny because I'm a homeopath. So when she said that, I'm like, I'm actually looking at 600 remedies in front of me right now. So this is perfect for me. So it could be anything, whether it's a centering exercise or a reflection session or a journaling exercise, or maybe some days we'll shine a spotlight on a piece of art that speaks to us or a quote that touched our spirits. So yeah, the possibilities are endless. And, every day we'll have a theme, whether it's a post, a video, short or long form content. We want it to be something that could bring you joy in a bite-sized form. And if you intend to engage with it, it will just take 1 to 3 minutes of your time. So we have themes. I have a list. You let me get my list. So I'm thinking for now, it's Manifestation Monday. So we could explore and share tools and stories about bringing intentions into reality. Then maybe Tuesdays, we have Tranquil Tuesdays, more about practices and narratives that cultivate peace, stillness, all those things. And then we have third, Wholesome Wednesdays, focusing on well-being and holistic health, sharing tips, practices, and stories. feel free to share, by the way. If you have like insights about this, we would love to. We don't want to be the only one creating this information from like for you guys. We have Thursdays. It could be thought-provoking Thursdays. I don't have a better word. Help me out, guys. So, but yeah, anything that involves deep reflections or share philosophies or questions or content that stimulates us to like share more or reflect more. Flourishing Fridays could be a period for gratitude, just like celebrating all aspects that highlight our growth over the last few weeks. Soulful, it could be like we could have soulful Saturdays. Again, could be self-explanatory. I'm like, I feel like I've been like saying so much, but like anything magical and mysterious, definitely. And then lastly, sacred Sundays, and just exploring anything that feels sacred for us, whether it's practices, thoughts, or stories. So these are the themes as of today. And if you're excited, feel free to send your love in the chat. So yeah, I mean, I'm gonna wrap this for now, but thank you everyone for this opportunity. This is basically the first time I'm gonna do this, like actually commit on posting something daily. So it's really scares me a lot, but we're going to start next week on Monday. So we're really going to start the week strong.
Thank you so much, Hera. Really appreciate your heart and your love. I know I saw a question about what day and time for Hera's offering. These are going to be daily and you'll find them in the feed. So at least for right now, they're just going to be, they'll pop up in your feed each day. So you just be on the lookout for that. Again, just want to send out this note that if you're in the connection field already and you're kind of having maybe trying to figure out how to make heads or tails of things, or you need a little bit more guidance, you can schedule a one-on-one onboarding call with me. These are half an hour, and I can help give you a tour and show you around. And in a moment, I'm going to share our closing music video, and I'll grab that link for you all so that you'll have that in the chat. That way, if you need anything, you can just reach out to me and we can get you really onboarded into the field, into the connection field, so that you can feel like you can play here, because we want you to come and play. We want you to hang out. We want you to, the post Julie and I made recently, sit down and stay a while. We want you to be with us here, because really when we join together in this way, we truly make a difference. Right. So I just want to double check with anybody here, any of our hosts, if you want to say anything before we move into our closing music video. Julie, I feel like you should say some closing words.
I'll start with deep, immense gratitude for you, Khadijih. You're holding so much, and you are the heart of this entire connection field, really working, doing things most of us can't even imagine that need to happen. So thank you, Khadijih. And again, Teresa, who's held this platform, who gets the multidimensional metaphysics of this to the very architecture of bringing it in, and all of our partners, HeartMath, Unify. Thank you, everyone. There's way more. There's dozens more partners coming online inside, many more islands opening up. And think of them like Facebook groups or Facebook pages. This is going to be a really nice place to hang out without algorithms and ads and steering. Like, you get to control your experience. And these are like your favorite Facebook groups, your favorite Facebook pages, your favorite content, live and virtual. So I'm really thrilled that we get to bring this to you, opening the cafe today, which is just another beginning, and we'll watch it evolve. And look at all these amazing, beautiful faces on the screen right now who are going to be here to hold your hand as well and help you to develop your own coherence practice, as well as just connecting. Just come in and connect. Even if you don't understand what coherence means at this point, come in and connect. You all belong. And we're so happy all of you joined us here today or are watching as we share this video around as well. So thank you. And thank you again, Khadijih. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Julie. Appreciate it so much. And it's been an honor to be a part of this community. It's just truly my heart. The field has called me to it. There's no other way to say it. I've mentioned that to Julie, Teresa, and I have talked about it. The field has called me to it. There's no way I ever planned to be where I am. It was definitely the field calling me. And so I'm going to actually just go ahead and share our closing video, and I'm going to pop the link in the chat for you to schedule an onboarding session if you need any additional help. Yeah, I love you all. This video is Maria Stark. It's Unstoppable Joy. I love this song. I think it is a beautiful example of what we are doing in the connection field and how we can each really tap into the love that we are, the peace that we are through our own joy and play. So I'm going to go ahead and share the video now.
I wonder what might happen if all the beings in all the worlds were free from suffering and without desire, and burst into unstoppable joy. I wonder what might happen if all the stars in all the skies were strung together, common thread, and shone together the common light, the light of love. I am that I am, that I am alive, unstoppable love. I am that I am, that I am light, unfadable light. I am that I am, that I am joy, unstoppable joy. I am that I am, that I am, that I am, unstoppable joy. I wonder what might happen if all the eyes began to see the mystery of love unfolding in the perfection of you and me. I wonder what might happen if all the hearts that felt the pulse would dance together to the rhythm of one song and sing united as one voice, the voice of love. I am that I am, that I am love, unstoppable love. I am that I am, that I am light, unfadable light. I am that I am, that I am joy, unstoppable joy. I am that I am, that I am, that I am, unstoppable joy.
Unstoppable joy, 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 unstoppable joy.
I am that I am, that I am love.
I am what I am.
I am that I am, that I am light.
You know, something I just love about that video, besides that it's unstoppable joy, is there's this deeper message of when we come together in our hearts and as a community, we truly are unstoppable. And I think that's something that we are all here to do, right? That's what we're here to do. We're here to change ourselves so we can change the world. So I love you all. I want to just check in and see, Teresa, if you have anything you want to close with, if Darty or Grace or Alexei or Michelle, Net, you have anything you want to share to close?
I would just love to say that I'm so glad that everyone joined us here. And I'm so, so glad to be a part of this connection field as we connect more and more with all of the world as we grow this energy.
Could you try again?
Thank you, Darty. Thank you. Just want to hold the space, hold the beam. Hera, if you want to close with anything, or any of other hosts have any last words they want to bring in to feel complete.
Just love bubbles to everyone. Mwah, mwah.
Yeah. Yeah. What a beautiful opportunity we all have here. This just feels like a really potent, perfect, beautiful opportunity.
And you know, there are so many beautiful faces just beaming radiant love in this room that aren't highlighted right now. Thank you all for joining us and staying in this room and supporting this and hopefully growing into your own rhythm and piece of this beautiful magic. So thank you all for coming today. It's been a gift and a blessing to all of us.
Yeah, indeed. It's been an honor to be here with all of you in the field, to be in the collective, to be in this moment of transformation. Okay, and with that, we're going to go ahead and we're going to close today. Why don't we just close with a nice deep breath of gratitude and of heart connection? Just closing and centering in our heart one final time as we close this Zoom line. Really feeling back into that sacred space of our heart. Feeling the connection field, feeling one another here. Feeling this greater vision and mission. We're all co-creating together. And a nice deep big breath into the heart. And then out into each other's hearts. One more nice deep big breath in into our hearts. And then out into the quantum collective field that holds us all. I love you all. We love you all. And we look forward to seeing you in the connection field.